Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to So You Think You're Iconic, the movie podcast where we are about to have a Multiverse of Madness spoiler talk.
Yes.
Yes. Um, we saw it this weekend. By the time
Yes,
you're
we did.
hearing this, it's been out for like 2 weeks, but we
Mhm.
just saw it.
Yep.
I saw it twice.
I have yet to see it twice.
So I have a little bit more, it's like more fresh in my mind
True.
than for Kelly. So I'm going to start off with the good. I'm going to start off with the good.
Okay.
Miss Wanda is a mother, and I don't judge her for anything she did.
Nope.
She clearly stated what she wanted and clearly stated what would happen if she didn't get what she wanted. And so I don't know what to tell you. I think this is all Doctor Strange's fault. He didn't try to reason with her. He just kept gaslighting her. He just kept being like, your children aren't real. Yeah, he could have tried harder.
Yeah. He could have been more sensitive. This man needs a better bedside training or sensitivity training.
Yeah. Was he not a doctor?
Right, exactly.
Whatever. But yeah, did no one think, hey, let's sit down, let's come up with a compromise? Here's what my compromise would have been, because I'm a thinking person. I would have been like, hey, let's use America, keep her alive, and let's go find a universe where Billy and Tommy are orphans. Let's go.
True.
Let's go there. Then you can have your kids. We'll all be happy. But yeah, so yeah, don't judge Miss Maximoff. Don't judge her too harshly. She is a mother.
And she did say that she was being nice. She was being merciful.
She was being merciful. I also learned some very valuable information. Apparently, the Wanda that killed the Illuminati, which I will be talking about later, that was a weaker version of Wanda. And she still killed them. Elizabeth Olsen said in an interview that the Wanda that killed the Illuminati was from a different universe, so she wasn't as powerful as our Wanda.
Oh.
And I was like, and she still killed them that easily?
She still wrecked the Illuminati, bro.
I was like, that's bad.
Wow.
At this point, be merciful that the real Wanda wasn't there.
Exactly.
Who knows what she would have did?
The carnage.
Yeah. So yeah, that I love the horror elements. I want more of that.
Yep.
I feel like they should have just taken the financial hit and made this a rated R movie, so we could have got more. Because the horror elements were like my favorite part of the movie.
They were good. Like the parts at the beginning when she was in Camertage. I loved that.
Yeah,
I loved that.
When her like mangled body came out of the the mirror dimension, amazing.
Oh my gosh. And then when the weaker Wanda was fighting the Illuminati, and you just saw her red glowing eyes first, and then she showed up, like, so good.
When she was with Professor X went inside her mind and he fucking broke he broke his head in half. Amazing. Amazing. Loved it. I had to tell Sabrina, I saw it the second time with Sabrina, because Sabrina got scared a couple of times in the movie. Like she jumped out of her seat a couple of times. So when that happened, I literally told her to close her eyes. I was like, she can't do this. Close your eyes. Close your eyes.
Good thing you did that.
Yeah. She would have been ruined. Okay. So now I have 4 things.
Okay.
4 spicy takes that I will be talking about. Should I leave my most spicy take for last, or should I just do it first and get it over with?
Let's go out guns blazing.
Guns blazing. Cool. Okay, so my first one is Michael Waldron, the writer of this movie, should never touch another Marvel script ever again. And I mean that so, like, he's ruined ruined, but he has done very badly with 2 different properties now, and I don't know why he kept getting hired.
Maybe it's the name.
Like, what was the point of Loki, and then what was the writing in this movie?
Yeah, I can't explain that for you, man.
Exactly.
I don't think anyone can at that point.
No one can. So we should never let this man write anything else for Marvel.
Take him off.
Look, need it. We can use him as maybe a consultant. He's a good idea. He's a good idea guy.
Yeah.
But like writing, not his forte. Mm-hmm. Maybe he can be a producer. Let's transition over to being a producer because writing is not working for you. And I looked at the rest of his credits and nothing going on there. Okay. Nothing going on there.
All right. Let's keep him in the room, but in a different position.
Keep him in the room, but keep a couple other people there just to like strike down all the bad ideas.
Yeah. Keep him in check.
Keep him in check. My second spicy take was America Chavez a afterthought in this movie because half of her dialogue was screaming. Like that was half of her. Like we don't learn anything really about her except for very like small things. She's from a different she's from a different universe where we don't know where that universe is. Mm-hmm. She has two moms. She likes pizza. And she has powers that we don't know where she got her powers from. Yeah. Or why she is the only America Chavez in the multiverse. Yeah. We don't know.
Yeah. The only significant thing we learned is basically her very tiny origin story of like her powers, and that's basically it.
Yeah, we don't even learn about how she got the powers.
No. It's just we know she has powers and then she sends her moms away.
Yeah.
By accident. And that's the most significant thing we learn about her. Yep,
that's all we learned about her. Yeah. Nothing else.
She could have been a really good plot point if we just knew more.
Yeah, we just
like they should have either introduced her beforehand so we knew she was coming, or they should have just dedicated more time for her.
It all goes back to the writing, Kelly. It's why Michael Waldron must be stopped. Like, it all goes back to the writing. My third one, the Illuminati got what they deserved. Because how are you sitting there? You know who this, like they knew what a Scarlet Witch was. They knew who the Scarlet Witch was, and they sat there and belittled her power. They were like, yeah, we could do that. We could handle her. And then whilst handling her, told her probably the only person that could kill her power, told on him. Like, just like, what if he speaks to you, he'll kill you. And then she's like, cool, he doesn't have a mouth anymore.
Yeah. Also, what a savage death.
Amazing. One of my favorite deaths in the movie. But don't know what they thought they were doing.
Yeah. Also, if they knew of the Scarlet Witch, and I assume they kept track of this Wanda, then they would have known that she would have been weaker. And if you saw two of your teammates get trashed, I would have called for backup.
Yeah, they didn't call for any backup.
They didn't call Mordor out. They didn't call for any backup other than like the Ultron robots.
Yeah, which like where did those come from? I'd like to know what happened there.
Don't know.
There's
Tony was successful with that Ultron.
Is there a Tony in this universe?
I assume so.
Because in this universe, their smartest person was Reed Richards. So, like, do they not have a Tony in this universe? Which I'm fine with. I don't really care about Tony that much, but that's.
I mean, maybe it was like a Endgame where there was only one solution for Thanos. But they made Doctor Strange so big because they needed to cover up his death.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows? But I will thank the Illuminati for giving us the two best lines in this entire movie. What mouth and good, there will be someone left to raise them. Thank you for that, Illuminati. Best lines in the movie. Okay. Thank you. It's time for my spiciest take, Kelly.
Okay, let's go. Bring it on.
It's time. So when I say this, please just bear with me.
Okay.
you'll agree with me in a couple of weeks. It's just because of the hype of the movie right now and what happened, but you'll agree with me. So just hold on.
Okay.
Reed Richards needs to be recast.
Oh no, yeah.
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 John Krasinski is not a good actor. Literally, he was saying his lines, and I was like, "That was your best take."
Yeah. That's what made it in the movie.
This is what made it into the movie.
Yeah.
Like literally, he sat in front of Wanda, which I learned they weren't even in the same room when they were filming this. She never met him.
That makes sense.
So he was like, I have children of my own. This man actually has children of his own, and I didn't believe him.
No. He was lying.
I was like, are you kidding me? And so, look, I know some of you are booing me right now. Some of you are booing, but look, give it a couple of weeks and sit with it, and then go back and watch the footage.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it was bad. I
will say that the like 30 minutes it took for me, my brother and my mom to get home from the theater. Once we got home, my brother and I looked at each other and we were talking about it, and then we're like, so what about Reed? And we're all like, he looks the part.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
He looks great.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you now, if John Krasinski is the star of a Fantastic Four movie, it will flop. I'm
or there needs to be a total revamp for him. He needs to get some help.
Yeah, he needs an acting teacher expeditiously. And they're just gonna have to like retool all of Reed Richards' personality. They're gonna have to do something. They're gonna have to work on it.
I'm trying to bank on the fact that we got Captain Carter, and since we got Captain Carter, technically we can recast John Krasinski.
We can, and we should.
Because if we can have a Captain Carter in that universe, that means John Krasinski is only that Reed in that universe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know
so we should
let's
really
just keep him there.
Let's keep him there. It was
there.
It was a fun moment. I know everyone was fan casting him, but now that I've seen it,
were they?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But now that I've seen it, we got to do something else. Yeah, they were fan casting him as Reed Richards, and then Emily Blunt as Sue Storm, which I would still like to see her as Sue Storm, but he can't be there.
No,
he can't be there.
We're good, thank you though.
And
I did a test run.
And I feel like a Fantastic Four movie is supposed to be in this phase of the MCU.
I think it is.
So they need to recast now.
Yeah,
they need to recast now.
Start testing now.
We need chemistry reads, because I know John Krasinski is not going to have chemistry with anyone. So we're going to need chemistry reads. We're going to need like a dramatic scene to like test out the Reed Richards, because we need to weed John Krasinski out of this.
Also, can we get a Sonic moment? So like if we see who is supposed to be Reed and we don't like it, we make enough noise to get the right person in the
I'm gonna need someone in that casting room to leak the name. The name,
please,
because I feel like that's how Oscar Isaac got Moon Knight, right? Like before before he was actually cast, like his name leaked, and then people were like, we're okay with that, and then he actually got cast. So leaking names works. Movie studios, do it.
It does, yes,
especially for big franchises. Leak the names. Leak the names.
There's enough of us. We'll make enough noise.
We'll let you know what's good. We'll let you know. But that's it for me. Any more thoughts about the movie, Kelly?
Honestly, Strange was savage for the ending.
Oh, and if we're going to speak about good casting, love them casting Charlize Theron.
Oh yeah.
Don't know anything about her character yet, but I love that casting.
Yeah. The only no, she's good.
Oh, okay.
No, she's good.
She's good.
I love that. Hopefully the character will be good and the storyline will be good, so we don't waste an actress.
Yeah, that would suck. We won't. Hopefully they don't treat her dirty like they did in the Fast and Furious franchise. But that's a story for another day.
Yes.
Speaking of well-written stories, are you ready to talk about this movie, Kelly?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so as you have seen since you clicked on this episode, we're going to be talking about The Invisible Man.
Mm-hmm.
One of the last movies I saw in theaters before the lockdown.
Oh,
yay! So, our movie starts off with Celia Cass, and she's fleeing from her abusive relationship with Adrian Griffin.
Good for her.
Do not know if they're just dating or if they're married. It's never.
I think they're just dating.
They're just dating. Okay, it's literally never explicitly told us what they are, but yeah, and so she has drugged his water with diazepam.
Mm-hmm.
And with the help of her sister, she makes it out to the road and they start to drive off as Adrian catches up to Cecilia and tries to drag her out of the car.
How he did that so fast,
I don't know. He broke the window with one punch.
And homie was driving. She was driving away. And he was able to keep up on a gravel road with no shoes on.
Yeah.
Punch through a window.
But crazy people have superpowers. I have literally always said this. Like crazy people, like something happens to your brain when you're crazy. It just gives you superpowers. I believe it. That's why I believe
it would make sense.
And I feel the same way about psychopaths. They fear nothing, so they're stronger than us. They're faster than us. I'm gonna write a dissertation. I'm gonna get my PhD in psychology, so I can just explain this more eloquently.
Yep, there'll be papers, a TED Talk. Just wait.
Yeah. Just be ready. I'll be ready in about 3 years. And so, also while they're driving away, Cecilia drops some medication, and Adrian picks it up. And also, Cecilia left her dog.
Yeah.
She literally left her dog. I was so upset.
Yeah, could not be me.
Couldn't be me.
I would 100% factor in Zeus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I would have threw Zeus over the fence before I threw myself.
Right.
Like, I'm not leaving him here with this shock collar. Absolutely not.
I would have accidentally forgot to leave a door open, so he runs away.
Yeah.
Into a protected cage that I have outside of the fence. That's covered, and I know where it is.
Yeah.
With a leash ready and everything, and then we are leaving together.
We're leaving together.
Yeah. No.
No dog gets left behind in my.
No dog gets left behind.
And so we cut to 2 weeks later, and Cecilia is staying at the home of a childhood friend, Detective James Lanier, and is frightened to even go out to the mailbox. But one day, Emily comes over and she tells Cecilia that Adrian has killed himself. And so Cecilia is like, what the fuck?
Honestly, same.
She then tells Emily and James about the abuse that she suffered from Adrian and how she took birth control in order to prevent herself from having a baby because he really wanted a baby. And she was like, I'll be stuck with him forever. Not doing that.
Yeah. Absolutely not.
So now that he is dead, though, she's feeling more confident, and so she goes outside and she goes to the mailbox. Ooh. In the mail, she sees that she got a letter informing her that Adrian has left her some money, and she goes to get her money, which honestly she deserves.
She does. Secure that bag, babe.
She deserves that compensation.
It doesn't matter where it came from.
No.
You deserve it.
You deserve it. At the lawyer's office, where the lawyer is Adrian's brother. Was his name Joey? Joe?
Tom.
Oops.
Bro, did we watch the same movie? I'm confused here, bro.
I'll believe you. Tom.
Yeah, his name is Tom.
Okay. Why did I write Joey?
Where did Joe come from?
I don't know.
That's not even in the next movie we watched.
I don't know.
Ooh.
Okay, Tom.
All right.
Yeah, and Tom tells Cecilia that Adrian left her $5 million on the condition that she doesn't get arrested, which is very weird.
Yeah, what a stipulation to have.
That's such a specific stipulation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that sounds like a setup. Like, no one thought for a second that sounds weird.
Right, like the girl that doesn't have a record.
Yeah.
Is stipulated that she can't get arrested.
She can't get arrested.
If that doesn't apply to her.
That's
in
very
any
weird.
way, shape, or form.
Yeah. And so
if I saw that, I'd be like, are you expecting me to commit a crime with this? Or what's going on here?
And then she also doesn't have a lawyer look over the paper. She just signs it.
I would be so sus of that money, honestly.
Like, if there is look, I don't read stuff. Like, I literally signed so many job paperwork that I did not read any of it. But if I was signing something giving me $5 million, best believe I'm having a lawyer look over it.
Oh yeah, 100%. Especially $5 million from somebody who controlled your life that specifically and abused you. Absolutely not.
Yeah,
I would 100% be like there was a catch.
And they threw in that weird stipulation that I can't get arrested. I was like, oh no, that's weird. I need someone to look this over.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Cecilia returns to James's house, she thanks him for helping her and gives James a new ladder and his daughter $10,000 a month for a whole year so that she can afford college. That's way more than you need in college. That's way more money than you'll need in college.
Even if where you go, I guess.
Even if she goes to like Harvard, that's a lot of money.
I mean, books and stuff, no? Supplies, I guess.
I think that's like $1.2 million, isn't it?
Let me 100 see. Mil. I thought it was 10,000 for a year.
10,000. I'm bad at math, so let's see.
Times 12. 120?
120. Sorry. Why was I thinking that was $100,000?
Yeah. I'm like, $1 million. Where are you getting that number?
$120,000 is still a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I know I went to like a state school, but like that would have well paid all of my stuff, and I would have had enough money left over for a good car.
I went to a private college. It was a little more expensive.
Yeah.
Crying in student debt. But anyway.
Yes, she is. And so that night, Cecilia begins to think she's hearing things. And the next morning, when she goes to wake up Sydney, the stove that she's cooking breakfast at turns itself on high and starts a fire.
Does it happen that fast?
Normally not. She was only gone for like 15 seconds.
Yeah, like
so I don't know
maybe 20, 30 tops. But I feel like it doesn't happen that fast.
It does not.
Also, I feel like you would totally smell that.
You would smell it.
I've never burned anything in the kitchen before or gotten close to starting a fire. So
yeah, I haven't either, but I feel like it would take longer.
Yeah, same.
Unless she was using like an insane amount of grease.
Didn't look like it.
It didn't. Yeah, but I don't know how Celia cooks. I don't know. That night, Cecilia hears footsteps in the house and goes to investigate when she sees white woman, and she sees the front door is open but thinks nothing of it and goes back to bed.
Bruh, when she saw the door open and didn't immediately just evacuate the area.
Yeah, I don't understand either, Kelly.
I was mad.
like the door wasn't even like creaked open a little bit. Like it was
fully wide open.
And she heard footsteps in the house.
Yeah, there's a chain on the door too.
Yeah.
So that didn't just blow open.
And she just went back to bed.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I'm gonna stand outside too for like a good solid minute. Leave the door open behind me while I do so.
Yeah.
And then think everything is fine and go back to bed. Absolutely not.
A mess. While she's in bed, the covers are peeled off of her and pictures are taken of her. She wakes up and finds the blankets on the floor, but nothing else wrong. And so she's like, oh, maybe we kicked the blankets off the bed and the sheets. But yeah. And so she tries to put them back on the bed, but something is holding the sheets down. So she calls for James, saying that she saw a footprint on the sheets. And he's like, there ain't nothing there.
Yeah.
And so James is like, you probably just had a nightmare. The next day, Cecilia has a job interview, and when she goes to show her artwork, it's gone.
I would be embarrassed.
I would be so embarrassed. And then she passes out for some reason.
Yeah, just because.
Just because. For shits and giggles.
Yeah, why not?
For fun.
My portfolio is empty. It's time to pass out.
I don't pass out.
She's like, I need an exit plan.
Yeah,
and I need it to be as dramatic as possible.
She's like, this is embarrassing. Passes out.
Yeah, she's all like, I cannot pass away, but I will simply pass out. And so,
yeah, I can't deal with this right now.
Yeah.
And so at the hospital, nothing is found wrong with her. And so they tell her that they'll call her later when her blood test results come in. She goes home and takes a shower. And I noticed that something in the trailer of this movie was missing. Did you not watch the trailer of this movie?
I didn't watch the trailer.
In the trailer, while she's taking a shower, a handprint comes on.
I was about to ask. Yeah.
The thing. And it's not in this movie.
I thought there was, honestly, because they had that shot of like right behind her head and just of the foggy glass. I thought either something was going to be written or there was like going to be a handprint.
Nothing happens.
Yeah, nothing happens.
Even though it's in the trailer.
Wasted opportunity.
Isn't it like illegal to put stuff in the trailer that's not in the movie?
False advertising?
Yeah, isn't that false advertising? Who knows? And so, yeah, so Cecilia gets a phone call from the doctor and they're like, we found a large amount of diazepam in your system. And she's like, what? Right before she finds the bottle that she dropped the day that she escaped on the kitchen, Jordan, on the bathroom sink.
On the bathroom sink, yeah.
And so she's like, what the fuck is going on? Cecilia then goes to Adrian's brother and says that she knows that Adrian is still alive and that he's messing with her.
First off, how did she not know that this wasn't going to go over well?
I don't know.
Yeah, like it was coming out of her mouth and nothing was registering in her brain that this sounded crazy.
I'll blame it on the lack of sleep. That's the only thing I can give her. Is the lack of sleep.
Okay.
And then she also accuses Tom of helping Adrian and that Adrian has somehow made himself invisible. Oh, here I did write Tom.
There we go.
Cool.
What happened to you earlier?
I don't know, girl. I don't know. Tom assures Cecilia that he too hated his brother and that he is for sure dead. Yay. Cecilia then goes to Emily's house to talk to her, and Emily tells her that Cecilia sent her a mean email, but Emily... Here's my thing. Emily's like, you sent me this mean email that said that you didn't want me to be around you and that I just wanted the money that Adrian sent you and blah, 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 blah. And Cecilia's like, I never sent that. And she's like, okay, but who did? And then in my mind, in my big brain mind, I'm sitting here, I'm like, Adrian could have sent that email before he died.
Yeah.
Like you can
schedule emails.
You can schedule emails.
Yeah.
But Emily wasn't thinking that. She just thought out of the blue her sister hated her for no reason.
Right. Also, why would you believe that?
Yeah. Especially when she's like, in front of you saying she didn't do it.
Right. Like, are we not curious?
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, recently I've adopted that stay curious for certain things, but we do not stay curious about these things. If I got something like that from my brother, I'd be like, excuse me, what?
Mm-hmm.
We gonna talk this out, bro. What happened?
Yeah, and so Emily's like, leave. And so Cecilia goes home and she goes searching through her emails and she finds the email and she just starts crying. Sydney comes home and finds Cecilia on the floor, just like wailing, just on the floor crying. And she goes to comfort her, but is slapped. And she thinks that Celia did it.
How?
But Cecilia's hands weren't even up.
She's literally on the floor.
Yeah.
And homegirl was standing feet above her, a couple of feet above her.
Yeah.
How did homegirl like get up?
I don't think she was in striking distance.
She was not.
Especially not in a way that you wouldn't tell, that you wouldn't be like 100% sure that she slapped you.
Right.
And so she just starts calling for her dad, and her dad's like, we're leaving. And so he takes Sydney, they leave. Cecilia goes around the house looking for Adrian, and she picks up a knife for protection and puts coffee grounds on the floor to see footprints. After some time of waiting, she calls Adrian's phone and finds it in James's attic. Which, like,
that's when you
how'd that get there?
Yeah, that's when you move out of the house.
She gets a message on the phone that says surprise and hears noises downstairs. And so she then takes some paint and she pours it out the opening that she went into the attic in, and sees the figure of a man covered in paint.
The way I would have just passed out and just been like, I'm dead now.
Oh, I would have started kicking, screaming, everything. When she looks again, the man is gone. And so she goes looking around the house with a knife and follows the paint trail before it ends in the living room. When the faucet in the kitchen turns on, she slowly goes in, sees paint in the sink, turns off the faucet, and is grabbed by an invisible force and like dragged around the house.
Poltergeist.
She's like, what's that grip called? Death grip?
Death grip? Yeah.
Like Lord Vader does.
Oh, yes. The force.
Force gripped. That's what it is.
Yeah.
She's force gripped in the air, swung around.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. She tries to fight back, but just continues to get dragged around the house before she smashes dishes over the thing and runs out of the house. She then orders an Uber and has them drop her off at Adrian's house. Inside the house, she finds Zeus still alone in the house. Like, who the fuck left this dog here?
Right.
How long is this dog here?
Yes. This dog has been through a lot.
A lot.
How is he alive?
Who knows? She then goes into Adrian's lab, where she finds a machine with a suit inside that makes whoever wears it invisible. It has like a whole bunch of little cameras on it. Don't know how it works. We're never explained how it works.
Refraction?
Probably because it wouldn't make any sense. But we're just gonna have to go with it. Cecilia grabs the suit and hides it in her secret spot in the closet.
It's an obvious spot.
It's a very obvious spot, but no one knows where it is.
Honestly, when she got her bag out the first time, I'm like, how did nobody find
this?
How did nobody find
Especially someone as controlling as Adrian.
Exactly.
You would think he would know every inch of his house.
Right. He would know every nook and cranny. He would know when something is even half a centimeter off.
Yeah. But she can hide a full go bag in the closet. Cool. So she hides it in the closet just as Adrian comes after her, and she sees his footprint. And our good boy Zeus protects her.
What a good boy.
Good boy, even though she leaves him again. And
he deserves better.
Yes. And she makes it out and calls her sister to meet her while her Uber driver drives her back into the city. Emily meets Cecilia, and when Cecilia tries to tell Emily about the suit, a knife cuts Emily's throat and lands in Cecilia's hand, causing everyone in the restaurant to think that Cecilia killed Emily. And so Cecilia is arrested and sent to a psychiatric hospital.
How that wasn't an open and shut case of how that wasn't her, I will never know.
I mean, maybe they felt like they didn't have to go back and look at video footage because so many people were around, but just in case, I would have gone back to look at the video footage. And then I would have seen this levitating knife.
Yes.
And I was like, what the fuck is that?
Exactly.
Very weird.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Terrible police work.
Also, Cecilia, why did you let the knife into your hand? That was weird. She just left her hand open, and then when the knife was in her hand, closed her hand.
Kept it.
And I was like, girl, what? Whatever, though. And so, after she's arrested and taken to the psychiatric hospital, while she's being sedated, Adrian kind of reveals himself by saying something to her. Don't remember what it was.
Doesn't he say surprise? Or is it that later?
Maybe. Who knows?
I think I'm getting my moments mixed up, but I think it might be surprise.
Okay. Surprise! You're in a psychiatric hospital.
Welcome to your grippy sock vacation.
Yay! Would you like some Jello? Sometime later, while being interviewed by a lawyer, she tries to tell him and James about the suit, but fears that Adrian will hear her, so she doesn't tell them. Even though she could have whispered into their
ear. Or just wrote it down.
Write it down. Keep that in between your fingers.
Yeah. Open this when you're alone.
Read it in your car alone.
Right.
So but no, she didn't want to do that. So whatever. At this point, I can't say exhaustion because she just took a who knows how long nap.
Yeah.
So I can't blame.
She's more than rested.
She's more than rested. And so when the lawyer leaves, she tries to reason with James, but he just blames himself for leaving her alone. At I think a session with her psychologist. I don't know who that woman was.
We don't know.
Maybe she was just a nurse. Maybe she was an orderly. I don't know.
Maybe.
But Cecilia is informed that she is pregnant. And right after this, she is visited by Tom, and he tells her that she is losing the money because she was arrested for murdering her sister.
She was set up.
Yeah. And she's told that she needs to sign over her rights or something, or she could agree to have the baby and go back to Adrian. So he just outs himself as being in cahoots with Adrian.
Yeah, with Adrian.
But even if she does go back to Adrian, several things will have to happen.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how they'll explain this. One, Adrian will have to magically come back dead.
Alive. Yeah. And he was cremated, by the way.
Yeah. And two, how are they going to get her off of this murder charge?
Right. Because we all know Adrian is not going to raise that kid alone.
They can't be like, oh, she just didn't do it. Because now you have people who think that they saw her do it. So how are you going to be like, no, it was someone else.
Right. Right. Because that video footage of her not doing it is not going to be enough, because how are you going to explain a floating knife?
How are you going to explain a floating knife?
Without incriminating yourself.
Yeah. The person who faked their death.
Right.
Whatever. They obviously weren't thinking it that well through.
Nope.
And so Cecilia, of course, says no. Because Adrian is crazy, and he killed her sister. So I don't think she wants to be with him anymore.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, kind of weird, but everyone has their little quirks about them. And so she throws papers on the floor and uses this as a distraction to steal one of Tom's pens. That night, while in her room, Cecilia cuts her wrists as a way to draw out Adrian, and it works. And so she uses the pen to stab him, and when a guard comes in, the guard is attacked by Adrian, and she uses this as like a way to escape out of the room. While Adrian attacks all the guards in the hall, and she just sits there, instead of escaping.
Also, did this man train for this or something?
Oh my gosh, yes. Did he?
Like
he was
that
sitting
happened way too fast.
He was sitting here fighting like an Avenger.
Yeah.
Like I know he was like invisible, but he was like flipping people over, shooting people in the like kneecaps. And
he had the strength and the knowledge.
Yeah.
So
he should be in a very different line of work.
Yeah, like I understand that he's fit. Mm-hmm. He looks fit. But there's a difference between fit and fighting every day for your life, like he was doing.
And so, after he's pretty much killed every guard at this mental hospital, Cecilia chases Adrian out of the facility with a gun and is able to find him. But he tells her that if she fights him, he will kill James and Sydney, but then goes to kill them anyway. So I don't know what he was doing. Luckily he keeps a guard alive. So now she has a witness to be like, I didn't do this shit.
Thank God.
Thank God. Also there were cameras in the facility, so they also saw this. He wasn't thinking.
No.
He wasn't thinking.
No. I mean, if he's bold enough to kill somebody in the middle of a busy restaurant.
I mean, he potentially could have got away with that. But in this mental institution where there are cameras everywhere, no. He's not getting away with that.
True.
And so, Cecilia then steals a car and calls James and tells him to get home to Sydney. Adrian gets there first, starts attacking Sydney before James arrives, and he is attacked by Adrian and gets the shit beat out of him.
Oh, yeah.
Like, wow.
He did not stand a chance.
Wow. Like, he could have put up a little bit more of a fight.
Yeah, he literally gets punched to the floor, and that's where he stays.
Yeah, he does not get up.
He like does this really weak grab in the middle of it. But that's about it.
It's kind of pathetic.
It is.
And Cecilia gets there like right after James gets beat up, and she uses a fire extinguisher to see Adrian and then shoots him. When Cecilia takes off the suit, it's Tom inside of the suit. So she's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Excuse me.
A police squad is then sent to Adrian's house and finds a quote unquote tied up Adrian in his basement. Yeah. James then tells her that Tom was behind everything, but Cecilia, rightfully so, is like, that don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like that,
absolutely not.
Like, what does Tom gain from this?
Right.
What is, like, sure, kidnapping his brother for
Makes
money,
sense.
even though he wouldn't have gotten any money, but whatever. Well, what does that
have to do with her?
Yeah, like, what does fucking with me have to do with anything?
Yeah, they didn't have any connection. It didn't sound like either brother was near each other when they were in a relationship.
Yeah. So
why go after James and Sydney?
Yeah, it don't make sense.
Make it make sense. The math ain't mathin'.
So Cecilia's like, no, Adrian just set his brother up. Which I'm surprised Tom didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm surprised Tom went along with this.
Yeah.
Like, this whole scheme was far-fetched. Don't know why Tom went along with it.
Who was the brains of this operation? And
it was obviously Adrian.
Yeah, but like, how did neither of them be like, maybe some of this won't work?
Yeah, like the faking my death part. How's that gonna play out?
And then coming back to life when my girlfriend's pregnant.
Yeah. And did they always know that she was pregnant?
With how controlling Adrian was, he probably tracked every single thing about her.
Probably tracked her cycle.
He tracked her cycle. He knew when her fertile window was coming. He had a whole app dedicated to her.
But did he know that she was gonna like escape? Like what was like this whole thing harps on Adrian knowing that she is going to escape from him.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
maybe he had a contingency plan for that too.
Like
honestly.
she was gone for like 2 whole weeks. Like she could have had an abortion. Like
she could have.
Like,
but she thought her birth control was working.
But like she was a month in, Kelley. Like she should have known by then.
Yeah. Yeah, because every woman, no matter if you're on birth control, even if you're not sexually active, you get that little scare of when your period is late, you're like, miraculous conception?
Oh no.
Am I pregnant? It happens to everybody. So I'm sure she would have freaked out at one point.
She would have freaked out. Yeah, and so that night Cecilia calls Adrian and goes over to his house, and he's like very nervous when she gets there, and he tells her how much he needs her and how much he missed her and blah 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 blah. He was just kidnapped and he seems perfectly fine to me, but whatever.
Anyway,
she then like begs him to admit what he did, but he insists that Tom acted alone, but it's probably because he knows she's recording him.
Yeah.
So yeah,
everybody knows when somebody has a wire on.
Yeah, it's very obvious by the questions they ask you. Just like really
did you do it?
Yeah,
it's a mic in your face.
Yeah, they're literally at the table. They're like, did you do it? And then they lean forward. Really?
Yeah. So where were you the night of August 16th? Casually leans all the way into your personal space.
Yeah. Or, hey dude, remember how we killed blah 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 blah?
Exactly.
On 10th Street
at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah. That was crazy. It was crazy that we did that, right? Immediately, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Are you wearing a wire? How did you know?
Which, by the way, if you're never mind.
No, no don't.
Never mind. Let the criminals get arrested. I don't care.
No.
Yeah, but he doesn't outright say it, but he does give her a little hint that it was him.
No way.
And so she's like, okay, whatever. And so she then goes to the bathroom, and while she's in the bathroom, Adrian slits his throat.
What?
Right before Cecilia comes out of the bathroom and calls the police. After the call, she makes it known to us, the viewers, that like she took his other suit and killed him. James comes running in because he was like the one recording everything. Thinking that Cecilia was hurt, but she insists that Adrian killed himself and that the surveillance footage confirms it. But James knows that she killed him.
She did it.
But he agrees. He's like, yeah, he killed himself. Whatever. And that's the end of the movie.
That is the end of the movie.
Several things about this. It's weird though. Cecilia could have been a little bit smarter. Because
a little.
The knife lifted before Adrian's hand did. And I caught that. But maybe a cop won't. Cops are notoriously bad at their jobs. So maybe they won't catch that. And then her boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, whatever, just killed himself and she's just leaving. Yeah. Like, is that not suspicious?
It's the joke we all say when the young wife shows up at the funeral wearing a really flashy black dress. Like, oh no, my poor husband.
Poor husband.
I loved him so much. Not for the money. What money? I don't want it.
Well, now, good for Cecilia. Now she'll actually get the $5 million. Good for her.
True.
Love that for her. And she gets a baby.
Nice.
Love that for her too. I mean, I personally wouldn't want a baby
true.
with Adrian.
Me neither.
DNA, but to each their own.
Yeah, you do you.
Yeah. Are you ready for the movie facts?
Yes, I am.
So this movie was originally going to be a part of the failed Dark Universe.
What?
So the Dark Universe was going to be, you know how we went to Universal Studios and they were talking about all the classic like monsters they have?
Uh-huh.
So they were going to have like an MCU like connected universe with all the monsters, like the Mummy from the Mummy, the Invisible Man, the Wolfman, Frankenstein's monster, Dracula, I think, all of those.
Oh, interesting.
So Johnny Depp was going to star in this movie.
Really?
Yeah, but changes were made to the Dark Universe to focus on individual storytelling instead of having a shared universe after the box office failure of Tom Cruise's 2017 The Mummy.
Oh, well.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So it never happened.
Yeah.
And
no surprise there.
And if you've seen that movie, they were trying to set up like a universe. They
were.
They really were.
Yikes.
So I'm happy this movie came out because they were like, scrap that. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So second movie fact. Towards the end, when Sydney is sleeping, she wakes up and sprays the Invisible Man. Then she runs past him, and another Invisible Man knocks her down from the front. So both Tom and Adrian were in the house.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah. They were working side by side. I wonder how many times they bumped into each other. It's like, shit.
That would have been so funny. They both got to grab her and they just like
boom. Oh.
That would have been so funny.
Lee Wanalo, sure, chose not to have an opening establishing Cecilia's predicament with Adrian because I wanted to just drop the audience into Cecilia's situation without any backstory and make them feel everything through her. And luckily, I had Elizabeth Moss, who was very good at communicating a lot to the audience without saying anything. So that's why at the beginning of the movie, she's like in the middle of leaving Adrian.
Oh, okay.
And we don't see any of the abuse.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you please guess who they wanted to play Adrian?
Oof. Who? Why are you saying it like that?
Please guess.
When did this movie come out?
You most recently watched a movie. You recently watched a movie with one of these men.
Uh-oh. Are they British? Or are they are English? No? Okay, they're American. I recently watched
one of them is not American.
One of them is not American.
No.
I don't know, Tom Hiddleston.
No.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
I think 6 foot tall white men.
6 foot tall white men?
Yes.
Geez, that could be anybody. First letter of their name.
It's A for both of them.
Oh my gosh. Who starts with an A that I would know of?
Okay, their initials are AH for one of them and AS for the other.
AH and AS. Oh no. I don't know.
You give up?
Yeah.
Armie Hammer and Alexander Skarsgård.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think I could see Armie Hammer.
Yeah, I could see Armie Hammer.
I could see Armie Hammer. Skarsgård though. I think I would have known from the get-go that he was a psycho. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that's all I have. So Kelley, is this movie iconic?
I'm gonna say no.
I also said no. It's a very good movie.
It's a good movie.
I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd, but I don't think it's iconic.
Yeah, I don't think it's iconic. Like there were some points where I was like, well, I'm always upset when people go and investigate things that they shouldn't be investigating.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Queen Cecilia just going out and doing everything. Good movie, good plot. Some things are just but I feel like for horror, I think it could have been more.
I don't think this was supposed to be horror.
Well, didn't it say in the thing? I think I looked it up. It says horror thriller.
This was mostly thriller. I don't think it was horror at all.
Yeah, they say horror thriller.
Don't know where they're getting the horror from.
Yeah, maybe because it's scary. Somebody in the house.
Because it's the Invisible Man, but
yeah. See, I can see the thriller for sure.
Yes, it's mostly thriller.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Not iconic. Good movie though.
Yeah.
Not iconic.
I will not be watching it again, but
why not, Kelley?
You know I don't like these type of movies.
Why not?
I don't like anything kind of scary. I like some thriller movies, but I have to give myself time in between.
Ooh, tomato.
Yeah, tomato. I'll accept it.
Okay, Kelley. What are your recommendations for this week?
Okay. So I have 2 recommendations. The first is a Doja Cat song. Called Nintendo.
Okay.
Instead of Nintendo, it's Ho at the end.
I don't think I've ever heard that, but okay.
It's an early Doja Cat song. It's like Moo. Have you heard Moo?
Of course I've heard Moo. Everyone's heard Moo. It was like a huge meme. I said, bitch, I'm a cow.
Cow.
I'm a cow.
I'm a cow. I'm not a cat.
I don't
say meow.
I say moo.
So it's kind of got the same vibe as that. It's pretty funny. Go check it out.
Okay.
And my second one is a Twitch streamer, fur _ or simply fur on YouTube.
Oh my gosh, you've heard it here first. Kelley's a furry. I knew it. I knew it.
What the heck?
I knew it.
Just because there's a furry tag on there does not mean anything.
Also,
how do you know?
What?
How do you know?
Their name was Fur something.
FIR, like a fir tree.
Oh. Oops.
Oh.
Sorry I outed you, but oops.
I outed myself. What are you talking about? I am not a furry though. There is a furry tag on the stream, but it's not that.
I know nothing about Twitch. Stop explaining to me. You're making it worse.
I'm digging my hole deeper. I'm shutting up. What are your recommendations?
my first one is Closer by Goapel. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Love that song. Good song. You've heard it.
Oh, I have?
Yeah, you just don't know this artist. You've heard the song though.
Okay.
My second one is I Want You Back by NSYNC. Great song.
Oh yeah.
Great song, great vocals. They don't make boy bands like this anymore.
No, they don't.
They really don't. But yeah, that's it for me. So thank you for listening.
Thanks.
This was a wild ride.
Yeah, it was.
For the like spoiler talk in the beginning, I will put a like time stamp in the description of where you can skip it in case you still haven't seen it 2 weeks post-release.
If you're like me and like when a new movie comes out that I really want to see, but I haven't seen it in theaters and it'll take me like a year to watch it, we've got you covered.
I still haven't seen Knives Out, so I think I got Kelley beat on that front. But like, what's the point of me watching it at this point? I know who the killer is.
Dang it, do you?
I've been known for like 2 years.
Who?
What?
Who?
Spoiler alert, skip ahead like 20 seconds, I guess. It's Chris Evans' character.
Okay.
Everyone knows that.
What the heck? How do you know this?
What do you mean, how do I? I have a Twitter. Everyone knows this.
What the heck, dude? I'm gonna make you watch it anyway.
It's not fun watching a whodunit if I know who did it.
I'm gonna make you watch it anyway.
I'll just wait for the sequel.
You don't know how. You don't know how.
I don't care. I'll just watch the second one. It's fine.
Tomato.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, so thank you for listening.
Yes.
Don't forget to follow us on our social media. We have a Twitter and Instagram. They're both at SY2YI Podcast. Also, don't forget to send us your movie requests or your movie stories. Did you see this movie in theaters like I did? Was this one of the last movies you saw before lockdown? Have you never watched this movie and you just listen to us describe it for you? You should go watch it now and see if we did well. Otherwise, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, a little bit. You don't get the full effect.
Yeah, you don't get the full effect. Like when I said that Cecilia was for script, you don't know what that means.
Yeah. And if all you're thinking of is like seeing Cecilia like ragdolled around the house.
That's not exactly what happened.
It's not exactly what happened.
But pretty close. Pretty close.
Yeah.
Let us know at sytyi podcast@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Also, don't forget to share us with your friends and your family. Subscribe to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. I don't really care. Just listen.
Yes, please. That sounded.
Oh, like I didn't mean it like that. Like, you know, wherever you like to listen to your podcast, listen to your podcast there. Like, I don't care where you listen to your podcast. I don't mean like I don't care. You know what I mean.
Okay.
And with that being said, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts.
Please let us know if you were insulted by Jordan's uncaringness.
You weren't. You got what I was saying.
Okay, all right.
You got what so give me 5 stars. Thank you. Also continue to wear your masks. Get your boosters, get vaccinated. Wash your hands. Stay iconic. Bye.
Bye.